So if you post a message that says you can see me, awesome. And if we don't get to move, then we know it's not working. So I can see startups backstage can see me. Still
Okay, I'm gonna do a new streaming link and try this instead and see if it works. And it does. Okay.
Did it work?
Yep. Okay. 1 second, y'all. We are working through some technical difficulties, but we will be all shortly. If you could just give us maybe 2 minutes, and then we'll be right back. Thank you.
Logged out.
There's not that many total, but
Okay,
hold on.
is it working now? How are we doing? Am I getting a thumbs up from everybody? Is it working?
Tell me if you can hear.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, apparently now it's working. So we have been trying to figure this out, and I guess that Stonks is a little wonky today. All right, lots of problems in the world. This is not one of the big ones, hopefully. Now, wanted to just get everybody welcomed to the Texas Seed Roundup. We have done this before. We're going to bring you some of the hottest seed stage companies coming out of Texas and the folks that have worked with us here at Sputnik ATX. We work very hard to help our companies to be able to grow as fast as they can. And we've got 4 of the best companies you're going to see coming out of Texas here to meet with you today. First up, and again, I apologize to everybody for the wait with the technical problems. First up, Brooke Swoovy. Swoovy is amazing. And as we talk about how we can engage employees and get them back in the office, this is quite frankly, this is psychologically probably the best solution that's out there. I mean, if you're looking for real impact, and you're getting great traction with some really cool names. But I don't want to steal Brooke's thunder. Take it away, Brooke.
Awesome. Thanks, Joe. Well, I'm really excited to kick things off for everybody. And I know we're running behind, so I'm going to jump right in. I think that everybody has probably heard the term the great resignation. Then it was the great reshuffle. Now it's quiet quitting. But employees being disengaged is one of the number one things that corporate leaders are talking about. And it's because it's costing over $1 trillion a year just in the US because 85% of employees now are disengaged. So we are really focused on that and what has worked to help engage employees in the past. Well, what's worked is employee volunteer programs. They're proven to increase productivity, they're proven to increase loyalty to the company, and they also help the individual's morale because they're finding purpose outside of the day-to-day and feeling connected. But the challenge is this hybrid remote workforce that we're in, it just doesn't work. Those corporate service days that once lived, that everybody loved to be a part of, are now challenged with employees being in a remote situation and dispersed all across the country. Companies are offering paid time off to volunteer, but that leaves it on the employee to then go find a cause that they care about. How do they get involved? And it takes a ton of time. So people just don't prioritize it and don't benefit from it. The other piece is companies are hyper focused now more than ever on corporate social responsibility because to attract and retain talent, it's a number one thing that they need to demonstrate, and it's very difficult to track. So with Swoovy, we solve those issues. We make it really easy to tie corporate goals to those individual interests for people wherever they may be. If there's clusters in one city, if they're all remote, it works in either scenario. We have a database of over 130,000 nonprofits across the US, and the individuals can choose what they care about and easily find something to do by themselves or as a small group or company-wide. And then the company gets all of that impact data that they can show off and they can report. Right now, companies are spending over $200 billion a year on these employee engagement programs and learning and development. When we look at really our sweet spot, it's the SMB market who are left out by some of the competitors that have high minimums as far as a cost and implementation. And we'll talk about that a little bit in a minute. The SMB market is spending over 1.5 billion in employee engagement. And we have a couple of beachhead markets that we're hyper focused on, community banks and credit unions, where I have almost a decade of experience at an early stage fintech company that I helped scale. And what I learned with these institutions is their reputation is dependent on demonstrating community engagement. And community banks in particular have CRA requirements or Community Reinvestment Act requirements that are crucial for them to connect their employees to volunteer opportunities and be able to report on that. Another segment that we're focused on are B Corps that also have that impact that is critical for them to demonstrate. When you look at the competitive market, there are some competitors out there. They're focused really on that enterprise level, which we also can support. However, as I mentioned, they're leaving out this huge SMB market. When we did our research and development, the pain points that we heard were about long implementation. Users felt like their site was a directory listing like Craigslist of volunteer opportunities. It did nothing for culture, and it was hidden in a CRM. So we built Swoovy to be a cloud-based solution that's scalable from a small company up to thousands of people. And it has that engaging UI with a social component so you can connect with colleagues through shared interest to volunteer. We have a recurring revenue model that's standard SaaS. So we have a setup and then we do an employee per month subscription. We raised a pre-seed round the summer of 2021. And with that, we have really scaled our sales operations and knowing what is gaining traction and how we can best convert our customers. We've also started building out some key strategic partnerships and channel partnerships and honed in on our buyer being the corporate communications chief operating officer, as well as the chief culture or chief people officer. Since we raised the pre-seed round, we launched our MVP in April of last year. We have our first 10 paying corporate clients on board. They're giving us positive reviews, even sharing that in the press. And we have roughly 60 deals in our pipeline that are averaging a 10,000 ARR for their contract value size. Aside myself, I have my co-founder CTO Gerardo, as well as a senior engineer, and then we have sales and business development. We're currently targeting a $1.5 million raise and forecasting being at 200,000 in MRR within 18 months, where we would then solicit for a Series A, and a 5-year forecast of being at 20 million in ARR. We currently have about 20% soft circled for our round and are looking for a lead, expecting to close by the end of the summer. So with that, I would love to open it up for any questions.
Okay, send your questions in the chat. We're going to take a little bit of time for a few questions. Don't hesitate, because we're only going to take a few questions, and then we're going to keep rolling because we are behind schedule. I want to also point out that for all of these founders, we'll be sending out information. If you have a specific request, you want to meet someone or talk to them, just let us know. We're going to try to get everybody as connected as they can. And again, we will not be able to answer all the questions today, even if we did have our full time and if everything technologically was working well. So how are we doing on the questions, Amanda?
The lag is strong.
The lag is strong. Okay, so we're waiting for the lag. So let me start off. I'm going to ask you the first question, Brooke, while we're waiting. Could you tell us a little bit more about your the software? Because you put in there that this is an MVP, but I've seen it myself. This is way better than 99.9% of the MVPs out there. So could you talk a little bit more about that interface and how well built out the app is already?
Yeah, and actually we get that feedback a lot. Of course, there are things that we have on our roadmap that we consider this an MVP, because there's a lot of opportunity for growth. So for the MVP, companies can set goals as far as volunteerism. They can connect their employees, again, with our database of over 130,000 nonprofits. They can set up team buildings and feature those events to their employees to register for, and to also see other colleagues that are going. And so the feedback that we're hearing too, the social component is very strong, because again, in this post-pandemic world, and when we look at the future of work, it's not just having access to a directory, but it's how do you connect with your colleagues and foster those relationships. And then they do have the ability to track that overall impact in the platform today.
Okay, and one more question. This will be our final question. Could you talk a little bit about your plans to build out the sales team? Because I know you have a really large pipeline.
Yes. So as far as the sales team, we have been extremely successful with some automated sales tactics, and we need to build out additional capacity from an SDR standpoint, as well as a BDR, to be able to host the demos and close the deals at a quicker pace and higher capacity.
Cool. And Brooke, I'm sorry, we just don't have a lot of time because we're running behind schedule. Thanks. It's really exciting to see what you're doing and how you're just blowing it out there to help people get back to the office, get engaged, and build great culture with companies.
Awesome. Thanks for having me.
Thanks. Okay. Coming up next, we have another super exciting company. If you've ever wondered how people get into professional sports, like let's say you got some kid in your local area who could be the next Pele, right? How would that kid get found? And as it turns out, that process kind of sucks. So Sebastian is here with Prospect One, super exciting company. By the way, and I know I'm asking something that is going to be in your presentation, but how many pro football, soccer players have been found through your platform to date?
40, and 9 of them were last week.
40?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's freaking awesome. Okay, so and with that, I'm going to turn the time over to you, Sebastian, and let you talk about how you are discovering soccer talent in the far reaches of crazy places, which is super cool.
Yeah, so the best talents are in actually poor countries, and they're not being found because kids don't have the resources to get in front of agents or coaches. This is me at the age of 18. I was on the best team in my country. I'm from Panama, and we were undefeated. We destroyed the competition, but only out of those 11, only 3 of us went professional, and it wasn't the best. It was the ones who had the resources to be placed and be found. I'm talking about expenses for traveling, getting in touch with coaches, and especially being able to pay and afford tournaments and going places. So, and this is a big reality. There's more than 300 million kids that dream of playing professional, and in the developing world, which I'm talking about, only 0.5% of those can actually get a chance and make it. And it's because the placement cost is 10 times higher than the budgets families have to place these kids. System is broken, it doesn't work, and their only chance is to be found by an agent that is sitting on the benches and drinking beer and sort of looking at the kids, which is extremely unfair. And we're trying to solve this problem. So what we found is that data is king. With data, we can actually predict which kids are good. So we created an app where kids can upload their data. And the app is an algorithm that uses machine learning to identify which players are better. And when they are good enough, we send them to professional teams. When they're not, we tell them what they need to work on, and the app creates specific plans for their needs so that they can actually improve all of those abilities. A few weeks ago, we placed Derek Rodriguez into a professional team in Panama. Only 3 weeks after we got his data, he signed a contract with a team, and now he's playing professionally, and we're sure he's going to change the life of his family by making an income and succeeding at a sport he loves. We really love what we do, and we're actually very happy to say that we have this on our app. We have the same success rate as teams in Europe because we can actually predict who can go pro, and we can connect them. We're getting, it says 34, but last week we got to 40 and didn't have the chance to change those numbers. Okay, so the market is huge, as I said. More than 300 million kids want to make it, but the ones that can actually pay online, because it's pretty hard in third world countries, are 17 million, and this is going to keep growing year by year. What's our plan? How do we do it? We get great coaches or known coaches in every country to say that they want to scout in from our platform. Then we drive them through our landing page where it says which coaches are looking and what they need to achieve in order to make it pro, and then they upload the data and they go through the process. Our traction, we want to get to product market fit by 2024. We're doing it through ads, and we're finding ways to make those ads more accessible for us and get to more kids. But we are getting deals with more teams that are looking for players, and then we get more players, and it's a loop that keeps running, and that's how we go faster. How are we going to scale really big? It's when we're going to do a deal where we're going to get, actually, I'm going to stop here. Before, like 10 years ago, every player, when they ended their career, they wanted to be a rapper. Now what they want to do is they want to be a founder. So we're gonna get a deal with some of these amazing players, and we're actually already networking our way to one of them, to bump a bunch of them, and if they can advertise it on our platform, we're gonna boost our revenue extremely fast because they have an amazing size of followers that are actually trying to go pro. Our team, we have around 14 people now, and I'm really happy to say that they love the mission, and it's people from tech, we have people from AI, we have sports scientists, we have influencers, every role has a specific person which is working really hard to make this happen because we want to change the world with this. And we need $2 million to get to 5 million ARR by 2025. We're going to spend that money on infrastructure development. We need agents to find more teams so that kids are more attracted to be on the platform, and then we need a head of sales to close those teams, so we can actually get a ton of things and we get this viral loop going on. This is a team I coach every Saturday in a very dangerous neighborhood in Panama. Whenever I'm in Panama, I do coach them. I love these kids, and my dream is to be able to place all of them without the need of them bankrupting their family or them waiting for an agent to see them, which is highly unlikely. Thank you. I can't hear you, Joe. I think your mic is off.
Now, how's that working? Okay.
That's-
It's pretty cool how you're able to canvas these hard to reach areas with parents logging in, uploading kids' profiles, coaches validating data, and scouts can see everything and pick the winners. It's cool to see that this whole system is working, that you've got 40 plus kids that have gone pro through it. And this will be exciting to see this to continue to grow as you feed more and more football clubs. This is really cool, Sebastian. So first question I'm going to ask is, could you talk a little bit about your monetization, how you make money?
All right, so we're making money right now from the kids, which is a very low ticket to enter. That's what, and then
How much do they pay?
They pay $3 a month, which is
$3
nothing.
a month. So for $3
Yeah.
a month, anyone can download the app and anyone can put their data in. And obviously
Exactly.
that's cheaper than what they had to do before paying scouts.
They don't have to pay scouts. They don't have to travel. They just upload their data, and we have them. And
Yeah.
what is going to happen now is that the teams are asking us for players, and they're going to start paying for their recruitment. It's on the pipeline for the next few months. And eventually, we're going to be able to have an equity stake in the kids that we place ourselves.
That's cool. That's great. That's super. Obviously coaches at that level have also an incentive to show that, hey, I'm good at developing kids that go pro. How do you work with coaches?
Yeah. For the coaches, it's like their only mission is developing kids. Everyone in soccer, or I guess sports, is in sports because they want to do something good and they want to help kids go pro. And the only way they can go up the ladder in their profession, it's by actually making kids go pro. So they actually get their kids to come to us because they know that it's a much quicker way to be found than what they were doing before, going to showcases or traveling for tryouts.
Okay, and final question, Sebastian. Who's going to be going pro next?
I have one kid, center midfielder, Pablo Avila. I'll let you know. If whoever wants to reach out, I'll send you Pablo Avila's picture training with a team, because this morning we saw some data, and that's the one who's going next.
Fantastic. All right. Help that kid from nowhere go pro. Thanks, Sebastian. And what a cool thing. Next up is Cleanster. Cleanster Gloria. And wow, you guys have really grown. I think there's over 20,000 property owners on the platform now. Is that correct, Gloria?
That's correct.
All I ever hear from you guys is how you're so busy, you're being crushed. And the demand is like insane. And I mean, first off, no one likes to clean. Let's just be frank, right? And for people who have multifamily properties, vacation homes, and things like that, this is a real problem. And you're using technology not just to automate this, but to solve some of the more nuanced problems with these services. And holy moly, your market adoption is freaking amazing, by the way.
Thank you.
Very, very strong. And we're really excited to have you here today. I'm going to turn it over to you.
Thank you. Hi, thank you for being here. Thank you for having me. I am Gloria Opong, co-founder and CEO of Cleanster, the #1 booking platform for efficient cleaning expertise for property owners and for short-term rentals. If you've ever stayed in a vacation rental in Austin or Dallas, we have probably cleaned the place before. The cleaning space is full of a lot of pain points for property managers and for cleaners. For property managers, it is difficult to find a reliable and trusted cleaner. And there is no way to do the background check. There is no recourse for property damage. And there is no way to automate the bookings and the payments. For cleaners, it is hard to find clients. Flexibility and scheduling can be tough, and getting paid in a time and fashionable manner is also a hassle. It is challenging for them to find an insurance for property protection. So, what is the solution for all of this? We say it's simple. Cleanster, we service both ends of the ecosystem. For property managers, they have the ability to link their cleaning schedule just with a click of a button for multiple locations on our platform. And they even are able to have the quality control through photo verifications. On our platform, you have access to insured and vetted cleaners at a cost-efficient manner. For cleaners, they have access to an expansive base of potential clients at their own flexibility of time. And better yet, they get paid on time. At Cleanster, we know what it takes to win, and we stack up very well against the competitors. We are the only platform that can deliver on 3 key differentiators. Number 1 is we have quality control infrastructure. That means that you get a high quality cleaning on time, always, and payment of assurance. Cleaners get paid within 24 hours of service and better customer experience. The customer experience has been #1 ever since inception, and we make sure that we resolve that underlying issue through our 24/7 customer resolution center. And these 3 features really shows and it drives our success always. The market opportunity is enormous. Let's take Airbnb alone. There are 3 million hosts with 7 million listings. And in 2019, there were 134.7 bookings on their platform. On our platform, a host pays $72. This means we are sitting on a $10 billion opportunity just for Airbnb alone. If you include other vacation rentals, it's even greater. Our traction to date is exciting. We have a monthly GMV of $138,000 at the moment. And just in 3 years of operations, we have had 150 app downloads and over 62 cleaners on our platform. We are a marketplace model, and our commission ranges from 35 to 43%. Our growth is really driven by our existing relationship with our large B2B clients and our strategic referral partners at the moment. We are excited to say of our top 40 enterprise clients on our platform, 50% is through referrals. Our secret sauce is really our people. I'm working with a phenomenal team and we complement each other so well. We've had our ups and downs with our first startup that we started, which resulted in a successful exit. And I have 20 plus years of experience in operations and 7+ years in the cleaning industry. My co-founder, CFO, Derek Ejiri, has over 26 years of experience in finance and product development. Atul has been with us for over 7 years, our CTO. We've accomplished a lot together, and we know the best is really yet to come. At the moment in Montreal, we are the #1 destination for multifamily property rentals to find cleaners and also to manage them and for short-term rentals. Currently, we are raising $1.5 million. We've secured $905,000 and we're left with $595,000. This here is to take us to the next level into the next city, Texas. And the use of these funds will also be for build up our sales team and also our growth in the business. If you love really to spark and clean all of short-term rentals and apartment complexes, we would love to chat with you further. Thank you.
All right, way to go. And I'm going to start off here with the first question. Could you talk a little bit about how much of your growth has been in the last year?
So our growth really have been exponential. We've doubled year to date at this moment. So
You've doubled over last year already.
Exactly.
So you're looking at least growing 4 to 5x this year over year.
That's exactly it.
Wow. How did that growth happen? Like, what's your secret, Gloria? What made this year so special?
So we've partnered with Morgan Group, Gray Stars, and what we're doing is we are catering more to their common area and also servicing their tenants in their building. So that is.
Yeah, so you've got some large contracts with some very large commercial companies. They're expanding those relationships as fast as you can get onboarded.
Exactly, and that's it. Yeah.
That's fantastic. That's fantastic. That's exceptional growth.
Yeah.
Can you tell me a little bit about how you plan to build out sales? I mean, you're working with these great channel partners. How does sales work?
So with our sales, we're looking into getting a sales development team on board. And what we're doing is we want to partner with property managers as well. And through this, they're able to also refer us to their more of their I would say of let's say a property manager is able to refer us more through our sales channel partners. So this is where we're looking for. So that's the angle that we want to take with our sales team.
Fantastic. Hey, thank you so much, Gloria.
Thank you.
If everyone, you got your contact information so people can contact you directly. And we're also happy to connect anybody to you. Just put a message and we'll make sure that we make that connection happen. Thank you.
Thank you.
We're coming up on our next company and the final company in our seed roundup today. And this is ImagineX. And ImagineX is really the future of how people will be buying properties. And it's super cool. Mario's here, and it was funny too because I was looking at that Apple announcement here with the new Apple headset, and I couldn't help but think about your technology. I don't want to get too into it because I know this is your story to tell, but with more and more people investing more and more resources in this space, I was just thinking about the ability that people are going to have in the future to tour properties with your platform is going to be pretty exciting.
Yeah, that's right, actually, Joe. So the market is getting hot with all these corporations moving into like the VR, AR space. So we are expecting to like be a huge deal breaker for some of these companies with our amazing tech.
Okay, now with that, I'm going to turn the time over to you, Mario, and let you go a little bit more into how you are.
So, well, first of all, good afternoon. My name is Mario. I'm a pro Latino founder here in the States pursuing the American dream. And then let me tell you that we have created an amazing technology that lets anyone experience any property worldwide. This is ImagineX, the next revolution in the real estate industry. So I would like to ask you guys who here has tried to buy or lease a new apartment or condo only using floor plans. I know that the user experience is awful, and that's because you have to do a lot of mind tricks in order to imagine how your future place will look like. As obvious as it seems, this makes the sales process a lot harder for realtors, brokers, and residential real estate developers, especially now when everything is moving to remote. To resolve this issue, we have created an amazing and breathtaking technology. We call it Digital Twin. It's basically an hyper-realistic 3D model on a 1:1 scale for unbuilt properties. All of our twins are highly customizable, so you can pick between finishes and furniture to your liking like never before. With our tech, residential and commercial real estate developers have been pre-selling and pre-leasing their properties faster, cheaper, and with an unforgettable user experience. There are three key points that I actually would like to highlight on our business model. First of all, we have a SaaS approach. This means that the developer only pay for the technology until they need to. Second, we have a self-serve approach, meaning that they can actually upload a BIM file that's kind of like the standard on the construction industry, and in a matter of minutes, they will have a ready-to-go digital twin to embed on their website. Finally, and most importantly, we are one of the few startups with a multi-platform approach. That means that our twins can be deployed to web browsers, VR, and AR headsets as well. I would like to bring forth a use case that we have seen that it has a lot of strong product market fit indicator. This is for ADU vendors. To give you an idea, this vendor have been using our technology in the last quarter, with an average time spent on the twin of 5 minutes. More than 3,000 unique visitors have used their technology, and they have received more than 2.7 million in quotes by the use of our technology. This means an ROI of almost 100x. With this success, we have onboarded almost 8 vendors, including the most important ADU vendor in the States in the last quarter. This is a detailed look of our sales. Right now, we are doing 12K in monthly recurring revenue. With expected customers that we have in our pipeline, we are expecting to hit 60K, sorry, at the end of this year. We have also partnered with a company to move into the build space. Most importantly, we have customers worldwide. They are coming from Mexico, Chile, Argentina, Colombia, the United States, and Uruguay as well. With our tech, more than 5,000 units have been sold worldwide with the use of our technology. We have invoiced almost 350K until the last quarter. We have, like as I told you, we pivot to a SaaS approach in this year, and we have almost 85K square footage in our properties. This is our amazing team. I'm the business guru, CEO, and serial entrepreneur. I was the recipient of the top inventor prize by the Colombian government in 2020. The technology, our CTO, is Diego Rodriguez, PhD in computer science. He has spent 10 years of his career doing research on these immersive technologies. Our sales beast, Andres Urrego, has more than 10 years doing IT solution selling. Finally, Diego Cedeño, our business developer in Latam. In order to grow faster, we are looking for 1.5 million on a safe. We are going to use these funds to expand and acquire customers in the States and to improve our product. We're planning to automate our backend to decrease the turnover by 75%. I really appreciate for having me here, and then I would like to invite you all to help us build the next revolution in the real estate industry. While I answer some questions, I would like to invite you to scan the QR code so you can try our amazing technology on your place. Thank you so much.
Awesome. Thank you, Mario. Hey, Mario, I'm going to just jump in here with the first question. I'm
Sure.
curious to know, for the people who are using this technology, what's the split between domestic and international? Like, do you see, there's more and more international real estate purchases. Are you seeing that people who are trying to look at homes remotely are using this, or is this being used intensively in markets also?
Yeah, so what we have seen is that we have enabled like the remote sales process. So it's actually for people who are looking for properties abroad. So just to give you an idea, I'm happy to announce that we closed a partnership with the largest mortgage lender here in Mexico. Yesterday we actually closed a partnership, and they are planning to use this technology to help people abroad to get properties here in Mexico. So that's kind of like the strongest use case that we have seen for the use of our digital twins.
That's fantastic. Could you also, and this is a question that I love to ask, tell me about your sales process. Who typically is the buyer? How do you contact them, and how long is your sales cycle?
Yeah, good question, Joe. So this is kind of like our go-to-market strategy. So we are approaching residential and commercial corporations. And the way how we approach them is through trade shows, cold emails, and LinkedIn. And then as the technology is it's even quite new here in the States, so we need to actually kind of like explain the technology, kind of like the benefits that they are getting from using this technology on their websites. And when they kind of like pilot or try this technology on one of their properties, they see value. As I told you with this ADU vendor, they got 2.5 million in quotes just in the last quarter. For them, it's like, man, this is awesome. Like it's a huge deal breaker for them in terms of like the customer engagement and all the benefits that they see for using our tech.
Yeah, yeah, awesome. And one other quick thing, do you ever white label this? You know,
No. So for us, this is kind of like a huge key point. Like it's we are one of the few startups that have a unique app on the Oculus Store in the MetaQuest, and then we are planning to release the same app on the upcoming Apple AR headsets. So we have branded our application with the Imaginex brand, and we are not planning to label this in the short term future. We feel like we are building a brand here in the States and also abroad, so it's we're planning to keep it like that way.
that's super. Well, thank you so much, Mario. And that's going to bring us to the end of our Texas Seed Roundup. And I just want to wrap things up today by letting everybody know that our application season is open right now at Sputnik ATX. So if you have startup companies that are looking for pre-seed funding, tell them to apply. We have one of the best programs around. We actively fund 12 to 13 companies a year, and our application's open till the end of the year. So if you know folks who are looking for funding, they can go simple online application, www.sputnikatx.com. We love those pre-seed companies, and we hope to hear more from all of you soon. Thanks for coming, and we'll be in touch with everybody who's requesting more information on the companies that presented today. Thanks.